Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're tackling a pretty common feeling, right? That sense of being stuck or maybe not quite reaching your potential.
hmm
And we're setting aside the usual suspects like bad luck or circumstances just for a moment.
Yeah.
Our source material, excerpts from the Unstoppable Power of Focuses, it hits us right away with this really direct line. You're not broke because you're unlucky. You're broke because you're distracted.
Wow. Okay. Straight to the point.
Exactly. So our mission here is to unpack that. Like, how does distraction really function as this hidden cost? And how can focus actually be the big game changer for you?
Well, and what's really striking is just how relevant this is right now. I mean, think about it. We live in this age of constant Wi-Fi, right? Notifications popping up all the time,
So, yeah.
these little dopamine hits. Focus isn't just, a nice skill to have anymore.
Yeah.
It's basically become the new currency. It's incredibly
A
valuable.
new currency. Okay.
And every time you scroll or get pulled into some online debate or, binge watch something, it's not just time lost. It feels like a silent drain, an unseen tax. It's literally, as the source implies, the cost of your future.
Okay, so digging into that new currency idea, what does the source really mean by that? Is it purely financial or is it something deeper, like our mental bandwidth?
It's definitely that deep a well. It's about mental energy. The argument is when your attention is constantly split, fragmented, your ability to do deep work, to think innovatively, to make solid strategic decisions, all of that just gets eroded.
Right.
Think of it like a mental bank account, maybe. Every little distraction is a small withdrawal. And eventually, well, you don't have enough mental capital left for the really important stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in a world that's just drowning in information, being able to truly concentrate, to filter out all that noise, that's probably the rarest and therefore the most valuable asset you can have.
Okay, yeah, I get that. And the source pushes this even harder, making this really compelling point. You don't lack opportunity. You lack intensity.
Ooh, intensity. That's a strong word.
It is. And I think a lot of us can probably relate. You hear it all the time, right? Oh, I don't have time for that side project, or I just can't seem to focus on my goals.
The time excuse.
But then somehow we find time for, the 3-hour gaming sessions, 2-hour naps, and all-day texting marathons, the source mentions. It's kind of a painful contrast when you put it like that.
It really is. And the thing about distraction, why it's so insidious, it's usually not this big, loud interruption.
Right.
The source calls it a dream killer because it just whispers. It kind of lures you in subtly. Oh, just 5 more minutes of scrolling.
Yeah, just check this one thing.
Exactly. Just this one notification. It's that slow, steady chipping away at your attention. Some people call it attention residue, where your brain never fully settles on one task. And if you keep listening to that whisper day after day, well, years can go by and you find yourself, like the source says, still broke, still dreaming, still stuck. That quiet creep is way more dangerous than some big, obvious obstacle.
So we've talked about this quiet sabotage of distraction, but what's the flip side? What's the powerful alternative?
Right, the antidote.
Yeah. And this is where it gets really motivating, I think. The source shifts gears and introduces this powerful idea. The most dangerous man in the world isn't the strongest or the smartest. It's the one who's laser focused.
Laser focused, okay.
And this person, they have this mindset, right? They understand the power of saying no way more often than they say yes. They're not waiting around for someone to give them the green light.
No permission needed.
Exactly. They don't need permission to succeed. It's this picture of real self-direction, empowerment.
And that really throws a question out to you, the listener, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what could you actually achieve with that kind of focus, that intense dedication? The source paints this really vivid picture. It asks you to imagine if you locked in for just 6 months.
6 months. That sounds intense.
It does. But think about it. No parties, no Netflix, no meaningless conversations, just pure focus. Just building, grinding, working when others rest, learning while others scroll.
Wow.
The potential outcome. Becoming unrecognizable, in a good way, obviously, a transformed way. It's about setting up your environment for what you might call deep work sprints, just periods of pure, uninterrupted focus.
So boiling this all down, what's the takeaway for you listening? It's maybe time to stop saying you're broke or stuck or unlucky. Maybe the truth is closer to you've been distracted. But the good news is you can decide you're done with that now.
Absolutely. It's a choice.
Because the core message from The Unstoppable Power of Focus seems crystal clear. Focus, that's the new flex, that's your advantage. Discipline, that's the new luxury, controlling your own attention. And your results, well, they're about to become unstoppable. So as you wrap up listening to this deep dive, here's something to really chew on. Stop chasing motivation.
Start chasing silence. In that silence, you'll hear your empire being built.